In the Old Testament, when Moses comes down Mount Sinai with the Ten Commandments, he is very upset to see his people worshiping a golden bull calf. In fact, he shattered the stone tablets and instructed his people to kill each other in order to purify themselves. Most biblical scholars will attribute this anger to the fact that the Israelites were worshiping a false idol or something to that effect. The reality is, the golden bull is Taurus the bull. And Moses represents the new age of Aries the ram. This is why Jews even today still blow the ram's horn. Moses represents the new age of Aries, and upon the new age, everyone must shed the old age. Instructed his people to kill each other in order to purify themselves. And upon the new age, everyone must shed the old age.
It is a truism today to say that we are at the dawn of a new age, the age of Aquarius.
What is required of us now is a new era of responsibility, a recognition on the part of every American that we have duties to ourselves, our nation, and the world.
In the difficult years ahead, each of us has to be in it for the species, because 2012 is about evolution.
The Hopis predicted in their final warnings, those who cannot celebrate change and the coming of the new dispensation will drop dead from their own fear.
And the Americans also used Nostradamus' predictions in a home front propaganda effort. MGM Studios, under producer Carrie Wilson, produced a series of shorts about Nostradamus for the movie theaters. Beyond exploring the mysteries of prophecies, the films served the national interest.
But Nostradamus made some predictions about us.
The Oscar winner.
In freedom's name we have struggled, we shall continue to struggle, and shall finally triumph, not without the sacrifice, and not without the pain, that must forever make mankind free.
Nostradamus 2012, Sunday, January 4th at 9. Only on History.
The Hopis predicted in their final warnings, those who cannot celebrate change and the coming of the new dispensation will drop dead from their own fear.
This is the cover of John Hogue's 1987 book, Nostradamus and the Millennium. Inside, there is not one mention of the year 2012. There are, however, 2 references to the coming Maitreya, one of which is a prophecy by Madame Helena Blavatsky, the founder of modern Theosophy.
The old appeals to racial, sexual, and religious chauvinism, to rabid nationalist fervor, are beginning not to work.
Our planet is being increasingly perturbed by something in space. It is a massive object called Planet X, and it is approaching the core of our system. It has caused ancient cataclysms, and by 2012, it will revisit some of those cataclysms upon us once again. Could this really be true? If you're willing to believe your lying eyes.
The eye and the pyramid are symbols of the old era.
What is required of us now is a new era of responsibility, a recognition on the part of every American that we have duties to ourselves, our nation, and the world.
The symbol of the new era is not the eye, but the rising sun, or more appropriately, the morning star.
He is ready to emerge openly very soon. Look for a bright star shining in the sky night and day as a sign of his public emergence.
The Hopis speak of the appearance of the blue star spirit, which will herald the appearance of the Cataclysm.
Back in December 2006, we first published our forecast. And we put this up as a PDF on the site, and we've had tens of thousands of downloads. So this information is widely available out there. There are 9 different slides in this series, and it takes people through the process of where the object is going to be and how it's going to be visible here on Earth. Eventually, Planet X will leave us in peace once again, and the steadfast few who have survived through a philosophy of service to others.
We honor them not only because they are the guardians of our liberty, but because they embody the spirit of service, a willingness to find meaning in something greater than themselves.
In the difficult years ahead, each of us has to be in it for the species, because 2012 is about evolution.
And yet, at this moment, a moment that will define a generation, it is precisely this spirit that must inhabit us all.
He will mentally overshadow. He's omniscient and omnipresent. And he will mentally overshadow all of humanity simultaneously.
They will embrace this new future with humility, compassion, tolerance, and above all, love. For in the fullness of time, they shall bear witness to the marvelous rebirth of our world.
When the American people and the Western people generally learn to share their resources.
And to those nations like ours that enjoy relative plenty, we say we can no longer afford indifference to the suffering outside our borders, nor can we consume the world's resources without regard to effect.
We then realize that the most important focus we can have is on the intelligent management of the Earth's resources. For it is from these natural resources we gain the materials to continue our path of prosperity.
Then we will know justice for the first time. And knowing justice, we will know peace. And knowing peace, we will go on this evolutionary journey which will take us eventually to the stars.
You're spreading a message of great hope, aren't you?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Ahead of humanity is the possibility, the chance to build the most wonderful, brilliant, technically amazing civilization we have ever built.
The old appeals to racial, sexual, and religious chauvinism, to rabid nationalist fervor, are beginning not to work.
It's going to take the redesign of our culture, our values, and it has to be related to the carrying capacity of the earth, not some human opinion or some politician's notions of the way the world ought to be, or some religious notions of the conduct of human affairs.
Where resource-based economies would end human suffering once and for all, by bringing out the best of humanity through service to others.
The society that we're about to talk about is a society that is free of all the old superstitions, incarceration, prisons, police, cruelty, and law.
Maitreya himself spoke to me. He said, I myself am coming, sooner than anyone thinks possible. And he will face humanity with a choice. Create justice in the world and build the most brilliant civilization this earth has ever seen. Or perish utterly. That's the choice.
He is ready to emerge openly very soon. Look for a bright star shining in the sky night and day as a sign of his public emergence.
The Hopis speak of the appearance of the blue star spirit, which will herald the appearance of the Cataclysm.
How it's going to be visible here on Earth.
Astronomers and engineers are celebrating another major milestone at Cerro Paranal in Chile, home of the ESO Very Large Telescope Array. Thanks to their dedicated efforts, they have been able to create the first artificial star in the southern hemisphere. A laser beam of 4 watts was launched from Yepun, producing an artificial star 90 kilometers up in the atmosphere.